Hello there and welcome. In this episode we're talking about feeding your pond fish, that includes koi and goldfish, during the autumn, winter and spring seasons. Now feeding your fish during this period is all about water temperature, so you're going to need a pond thermometer. Firstly, we're going to need to learn a little bit about fish metabolism in your pond. As the water starts to cool, your fish will start to slow down and get ready to hibernate during that cold winter period. When they do this, their gut bacteria will also slow down. This means they're less able to break down foods high in protein. This will mean two things. Firstly, the food will sit in their gut for longer, creating a larger chance of bacterial infection. And secondly, the food will pass through the fish without being digested as thoroughly. So to combat this reduced metabolism of food during these colder months, when your water temperature gets down to around 15 degrees C or 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you need to stop feeding your normal food and give them wheat germ. Now wheat germ is significantly lower in protein and easier for the fish to digest. This means the fish will be able to eat as normal. At the same time as your fish gut bacteria is slowing down, the bacteria in your pond and in your filter will also be dying off or going into a state of hibernation. This is a bad thing because it removes the ability from your pond to break down excess waste. And if there is excess waste in your pond, it will come out as ammonia, which is toxic to fish. This is another reason why we need to reduce the amount of food we give them during the autumn period, and also reduce the amount of protein we give them, because not only will your fish not be able to digest it, but your pond bacteria will also not be able to handle the excess load. And this can become fatal to fish in many forms, from internal bacteria infections and also to ammonia poisoning. So that's the autumn period covered, and now we move into the winter period. And the winter period for fish basically starts when the pond temperature gets down to 10 degrees C or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's at this time where we stop feeding our pond fish completely. Even if for a couple of days the temperature rises above 10, you do not feed your fish, because that food will sit in the fish's gut, possibly throughout the entire winter, and can cause all sorts of bacterial infections in the gut of the fish, potentially leading to the death of the animal. Not only that, but at this point the bacteria in your pond and filter has completely gone to sleep, so it won't be able to deal with any waste from your pond. This means any uneaten food or any excretions from your fish are just going to sit in the pond and rot away, creating ammonia, which is not good news for your fish. So the message is, don't feed your fish during the winter period until your water is consistently above 10 degrees C. When the water starts to warm up again, and that is over 10 degrees C for at least a period of a week, you want to start feeding the fish wheat germ, and only very lightly, because the bacteria in your pond will not have recovered yet, and you are very likely to get ammonia spikes if you overfeed your fish. So try feeding them a small amount every other day or so until they wake up. You want to continue feeding the wheat germ until the water temperature rises above 15 degrees or 60 degrees Fahrenheit for a good period of at least 2 weeks. By this time, the filter bacteria in your pond should have woken up a little bit, and the fish's gut bacteria will have started to work properly. When the water temperature is consistently closer to 20 degrees than it is 15 degrees centigrade, you can start to feed your fish a higher protein diet. Perhaps alternate between wheat germ and your normal feed. After this period, it should be warm enough to feed your fish as normal, as we'll be entering the summer months. If you follow this simple guide to feeding your fish during the colder months of the year, then you should get through them without any significant losses to your livestock. So thank you for watching, hope this has been helpful, and happy fish keeping!